The 24-hour Game Show Marathon is back for another record-breaking year. Watch as Game Show fans recreate 24 of their favorite game shows, all to raise money for Child's Play. Child's Play delivers therapeutic games and technology directly to pediatric hospitals to improve patients' lives through the power of play. Watch the fun Saturday, June 3rd, 2023, and donate now at GameShowMarathon.com.
Hello, hello, hello! Welcome to another episode of the Crispy Noodle Podcast. Let us be the Crispy Noodle and your vegetarian salad of life and boring news. I'm Rich Liebig.
And I'm Michael Costanzo.
And we are here to give you some interesting tidbits in world sports, entertainment, odd news, and whatever else we happen to stumble across on this hour-long and change podcast to give you some helpful topics and interesting nuggets of information that we have combed up from this past week. How are you doing, Mikey?
I'm doing good. This past weekend I went to Hershey Park. I don't know if anybody can see my Reese's.
Yeah, we can see it in the frame. Yep.
Yeah, peanut butter.
You look like a big Reese's cup.
I look like a big Reese's. That's one of my favorite candies, I think, is Reese's.
Yeah.
Anything Reese's, really.
Are you you're a big peanut butter guy?
I love peanut butter. Like, there's just something about it that's perfect. It's like salty, it's sweet, it's creamy, it's chunky, it's everything. It goes with everything.
Which peanut butter spectrum?
Oh, this is
because there's creamy, there's chunky.
This is a hotly debated topic.
Yeah.
I actually love both, but if I had to choose, if someone was like, you have to choose only one,
yes,
I think that I would choose creamy just because I think it's more versatile. You can bake it into stuff, you can mix it into the stuff a little bit easier.
And there you go, a little cream.
Yeah, I like the creaminess, yeah.
Okay, there you go.
But I love Hershey Park. Hershey Park is a fun time. You know, I've been slowly getting more into the like extreme roller coasters. So I've always been like a fan of rides, but I never did roller coasters where they would invert you, like flip you upside down.
Uh-huh.
And slowly but surely I've been working my way up to the more intense roller coasters, the ones that have the loops, that have the corkscrews, and to this, you know, even though I've been on several now, it never fails though. I'm in line and I'm like looking at my watch and my heart rate is just going up and up and up. It is so terrifying, but it's so much fun as well.
We have actual audio of you on one of the rides here. Yeah, so there you go. Did you know we had a microphone there?
So I didn't know that. That's actually not even me on the ride. That's just me waiting in line. No, it's one of the things that I've been working towards is getting better at doing those types of rides. But there's a newer coaster at Hershey Park called Candemonium. And as we're going up the lift hill, I'm sitting there in this car and I'm looking around and there's just nothing at the same level. And I say out loud, why the hell is this thing so freaking tall? And the guy next to me starts laughing.
Oh, now you fucked up. You have fucked up now.
That's how I felt. I'm going up this hill and I'm looking around. I'm like, this is literally the tallest thing in the entire park. And I go, why the hell is this thing so freaking tall?
Why are you on this?
It was a thrill. It's absolutely terrifying, but it was a good time. So we rode a bunch of coasters. We had way too many sweets. It's just
I like that part of Hershey.
Yeah.
I like the candy part.
You like you're there strictly for the candy. You're going from food stall to food stall, food truck to food truck, just getting all the goodies.
Yeah, because I can't handle rides.
You don't like the kind that give you like that 0G feeling, where the stomach is like dropping.
No, that makes me feel nauseous.
You would hate. There's a coaster called Sky Rush, where the drop like goes. Like, it doesn't just go down or straight down. It goes kind of like backwards a little bit.
Yeah, I've seen the video of it. Yeah.
You're literally I'm a big guy. And we go down the drop, and I am literally coming out of my seat. I'm like, this is where I die.
Yeah. Why are you asking to die?
I was convinced that I was going to fall out of that thing and die.
Yeah. Why did you ask yourself to die?
I don't know. But anyway, so that's how I spent my weekend, almost dying on roller coasters. It was a lot of fun. What were you up to?
Went down to Rehoboth.
Nice.
Yeah.
Starting off the shore season nice and early here in May.
During the temperature the comfortable temperatures.
Before it gets too hot.
Yep. It was my first time on a small boat.
Oh, that's scary.
Yeah. No, it was actually pretty fun.
Boats freak me out. There's too much water underneath it.
Well, I mean, we were just in the bay,
Oh, okay.
so we
Not too
weren't
deep.
Yeah. I mean, if something had gone wrong, it wasn't like we were stranded. It wasn't like Jaws. It wasn't like we were stranded in the middle of the ocean. Yeah.
Oh man, no thank you.
Yeah. No. But yeah, I went on a boat. It was pretty cool.
That's
and
pretty cool. So
I never been on a boat. Well, I've been on like big boats. I've been on like ferries and like steamboats, but I never been on like
not like a boat where you could like comfortably walk from like side to side in like a few seconds kind of thing.
Yeah.
You're on like large boats.
Right.
So how is it on a small boat? Like, do you feel the water more? That's something I've
a
always
little bit.
wondered
Yeah.
about.
Yeah.
Oh,
Because if there's
wow.
any, you know, and if there's any waves or any wakes or anything like that smash into the boat, yeah, you'll feel it.
Did you get your sea legs, or were you wobbly?
We weren't really that wobbly. I think we were
Okay.
fine. So, although it was cool when we got out to like the open part of the bay, we were able to really like kick the boat into like high gear.
Oh man,
And like it was funny. Everybody on the boat got like cold, and I'm like, "No, this is great." Like,
you're like faster.
yeah. I'm like, yeah. Everybody else is like getting like their sweatshirt on, or like getting like their hoodies on, and I'm like, "Nope, I'm kicking off my flip flops." I'm like, "Here we go."
Meanwhile, you're going. If you had told me it was going to be this cold before, I would have been on here nonstop.
Yeah. So that was for me. It was a nice treat. I like the cold. I don't know. I can handle the cold much better.
It's better to be cold than it is to be hot.
I feel
you can
like
put
it,
on
yeah.
you can put on layers.
Yeah.
You can sit next to a fire or get a nice cup of hot coffee. But after a certain point, if it's too hot, it becomes a crime to take off layers.
Well, it was very erotic. Yes, indeed. It was erotic.
Yeah. And then you're in the odd news.
You can take off every layer and you're still sweating.
Yeah. So
That's why being too hot sucks.
Yep. So that was fun. That was kind of a little checklist item for me.
Nice.
Something else that we didn't mention on our rundown sheet, but it was also the coronation this weekend. I don't know.
Oh,
is
yeah.
that a big thing for you? It wasn't
for
really
me,
for me.
no, but I know people who.
Because you go to London sometimes.
I went to London twice actually in the span of a year, and I mean it was a blast. I loved it. It was one of my favorite trips of all time. But the whole royal family just annoys me. I don't know if we're gonna get like canceled for this or something. But
I don't know. We're not
I don't-
based in the UK.
I don't like them
Take
because
that.
because at the same time
Sausage fingers.
he does have sausage fingers.
does.
How does he do anything?
Yeah. He needs an assistant to help him write.
So this is the thing that annoys me about the royal family. Everyone's like, oh, they don't really have power. They're just figureheads. So why all the pomp and circumstance? If you say, oh, if they're just figureheads, let's get rid of them. No. They're essential
Yeah.
to the government. Well, which is it? Are they non-essential or are they essential?
Yeah.
The amount of crap that had the Queen's face on it in that country, or former Queen now,
Yeah.
rip.
Because it's going to have to be converted.
It's insane. It's insane.
Don't they have to convert all that for the king now?
Who
I
knows?
think they're supposed to. Like all the badges on the cops, they have to switch them out because they got to
Talk
represent.
about a waste of taxpayer
Yeah.
dollars.
right?
Like, oh, sorry, we got to switch queen to king in everything.
Yeah.
The guy's going to die in 5 years.
Yeah. Are we really doing this switch? Because like, dude's 74 or something.
Who's next up after him? Do you
Then
know?
it's
Is it one of the sons?
Then William.
Okay, so it would still be king, but they
Yeah.
got to change the name though.
Right.
Too.
They have to change the. Yeah. Anyway, that also happened this weekend. I don't know. I didn't really. I didn't. I will
You're
admit,
not.
I
You're not an
didn't-
Anglophile. Neither of us are Anglophiles.
No, I'm not really a fan of it. But
No.
yeah, you know, I guess
Whatever.
that was a big thing.
Teach them. Some people really love it.
My only thing was the thing that really pissed me off. We're getting into pissing me off territory already.
Let him have it, Rich. Let him have it.
Did you hear what his coronation dinner was?
No.
Brace yourself.
Okay, I'm braced.
This man has access to the finest foods in all the world, right? He's
I'm-
the King Charles.
I'm already getting mad. I don't
Yeah.
even know what you're going to say. You could say anything, and I'm still going to be mad.
His coronation dinner of choice was a freaking quiche. You
Quiche.
lame wad. You are lame wad.
You're in Europe, you have access to all the countries are right there.
Yeah.
You want French food, it's right there. You want Italian food, it's right there. You want
Out of all the things to choose, he chooses quiche.
quiche.
Blech.
Wait, what kind of quiche though?
It had like, I don't know.
Was it
some-
fancy or was it like bacon, egg, and cheese?
No, it was like it had like spinach in it, and it
Spinach?
was supposed to be vegetarian.
Vegetarian.
Yeah, not vegan, because vegan means you can't use the
You
egg.
can't have egg.
Right, so it was vegetarian.
Not even breakfast meat.
But yeah, there should have been a Brexit on
Brexit,
this.
I know. I meant to say breakfast meat.
No, that
Brexit.
was a perfect mistake. There should have been a Brexit for this damn coronation.
No bacon, Brexit.
Yeah, that should have been the logo.
Brexit bacon.
Brexit bacon. Yeah.
So he had a spinach quiche.
yeah.
This is the pinnacle of his entire life's work.
Yeah.
74 years he's been trying to get to the throne. This is like real life Game of Thrones. And he chooses quiche.
Yeah. Blech. Yeah.
He
Lame.
doesn't deserve to be king.
Lame wad. Anyway, there you
Anywho.
go. Just getting some topics off the list here that happened this past weekend. Boop boop boop. You know what? I think that's a good way to keep going through our bullet point list here. So, that's the topics that happen, culturally. Oh my God, I can't even talk. This damn.
You all right there? The coronation's got you all sort of mixed up.
Yeah. You chose quiche. I'm sorry. That's ridiculous to me.
You've probably been thinking about that for days.
Yeah, it bothers me. Come on, man. Put some garlic in there, something.
Something. Oh, you know it wasn't seasoned.
Yeah. Anyway, let's go to the first batch of topics, the sports sampler.
So you're not good at sports. It's a very small part of life.
Sports. In your face. Ha ha!
Yep, sports coming at you in your face.
See, I'm just thinking of like dry, overcooked. It's just like the smallest pinch of salt and pepper. No garlic, no onion, no
how about-
crushed
how about
red, no
this?
paprika,
All right.
nothing.
All right, let's go from one embarrassing moment to another embarrassing moment with
Okay.
the Washington Commanders.
Okay, that's good. I like that transition.
How's that for a transition?
That's a
because
transition.
this is embarrassing. Apparently, leading up to the draft, Washington. There's not the Commanders. I hate that name. Washington.
It's the Commanders. It's the name.
No, they're Washington.
Okay.
I'm making a decree. There you go. Take that, King.
You haven't been coronated.
Now I'm coronated. Jeez, I don't know. Anyway, this story's embarrassing. Washington, apparently they just were desperate to land a quarterback leading up to the draft, and they just got on the horn. This is an actual news report. They got on the horn and were calling teams that they thought would be interested in trading away, maybe a quarterback or two.
They thought this team was interested.
But oh my gosh, this is so. All right, let's go over the two that are very shocking.
I can't believe this one on here.
Right. So you may go through the list. Maybe
Yeah.
there's a hint. Maybe there's like a 5 or 10% chance that maybe it could happen.
You call San Fran; they're always looking to
San
trade somebody.
Fran is looking to trade Trey Lance. That's,
yeah.
I don't know why that's not higher up on the
Perfect
list.
trade partner.
Anyway, this news report came out saying that 2 of the quarterbacks that they were dialing up leading up to the draft, one was retired quarterback Andrew Luck, which
Sure. Why not?
he's been retired for 4 years now,
Yeah, it's been a while.
which
I think he's like living on a ranch or something. They did an interview with him on ESPN. He's like a nobody now.
yeah. And that earned the ire of Colts general manager Jim Irsay, because he tweeted after this news report came out in old man speak. He literally tweeted, "If there was any contact with Andrew Luck, that would be tampering."
I mean, it would be, but like the dude's been retired for years now.
I mean, he still, if he wanted to come back, you would have to go through the Colts because they would have the rights on him.
Right.
But I don't know, that tweet that Jim Irsay,
It was like old man shaking fist at sky.
you
Yeah.
you better come this way first, you hooligans.
Wow, but yet the Commanders contacted Andrew Luck. You're really digging deep.
Yeah,
But
that's deep.
I don't know what's more embarrassing, that or this other item,
Whew.
because this one,
This would have been a doozy. I don't know how you pull this one off.
This would have been a draft day shocker.
Because at one point, Washington allegedly called the Los Angeles Chargers and asked them about Justin Herbert.
Sure.
What?
Top 10 quarterback on a rookie deal.
Yeah, sure, that happens. What? The LA Chargers have given no inclination that they ever wanted to trade Justin Herbert. Why would you even waste your time with a dial?
Part of me is like, that's ridiculous. The other part of me is like, all GMs have to do their due diligence and call around and just in the off chance, maybe Justin Herbert just like
don't even try and this is not
maybe,
on. No.
Maybe they got a rumor that Justin Herbert like smacked the team owner and that the Chargers are looking to dump him, and here come the Commanders.
No, this is exactly what happened in the Washington front office. They looked around the NFL and they said, other teams have quarterbacks.
Let's just call all of them.
Let's see if we can get...
They're like, Bob, you start in the North. Jim, you start in the West. Everybody's just calling the different divisions.
Yeah. That is ridiculous.
How many phone calls do you think they just got laughs?
There was no inclination. There's been no bad report. There's been no drama.
Nothing.
The Chargers are 100% happy with Justin Herbert right now. I even think they're like starting the negotiations for his long-term deal because I think he's on his 4th year of his contract.
Something like that.
They either have to pick up his 5th-year option soon, or they got to talk about a long-term contract, which they're going to do. They're happy with him.
Right.
Like, why would you even waste your time calling their number?
They got nothing better to do. I don't know what Washington is doing. I mean, both of these, but the thing that gets me is that there's other players out there.
Yeah.
Like Lamar Jackson was unsigned at the time.
That would make sense.
The 49ers are perpetually looking to trade for and trade away quarterbacks.
That would make sense.
Aaron Rodgers was a giant question mark. I mean, there was
that would make sense.
There were players. Carson Wentz is still sitting out there.
Well, they're the ones that cut him.
They could bring him back. Nothing's stopping them from doing that. And Nick Foles is out there. I mean, there's other.
Nick Foles just got cut.
There's other veteran quarterbacks who are available, but I guess I'm trying to put myself in the Washington GM's shoes. He's like, well, these teams have good quarterbacks. We need a good quarterback. Not just any quarterback, but a good quarterback.
Yeah, let's start there.
Let's start there. Let's start calling the top teams. Let's say, Chiefs, do you guys want to trade Mahomes? No. Okay. Eagles, do you guys want to trade Hurts? No. Okay. Oh, Chargers, do you guys want to trade Justin Herbert? That's exactly what they did. They're like, why bother with the washed up veterans? Just go straight to the top.
Yeah.
They're trying to take a page out of the Rams playbook and just offer not only the farm, but the road that leads to the farm, the county that the farm is based in. Because what would it take realistically to pry
Justin Herbert
or a top 10 quarterback on a rookie deal that's putting up his numbers
away
from a team? I mean, you got, what was it? Watson was 3 firsts.
Deshaun Watson went for 3 first-rounders. Yeah, so you would have to start there.
You'd have to start there.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Just,
who didn't they call?
Boy, to be a fly in the Washington front office right now.
Yeah.
And they probably have a lot of them because that stadium's falling apart.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
So there we go. Very interesting story that we had to talk about right off the bucket list here, because that was a ridiculous story that came through the wire.
They're a never-ending source of entertainment. But
yeah.
You know what else is pretty entertaining and also weird from what I understand is this sort of announcement coming out of wrestling.
Yep. So WWE, yes, World Wrestling Entertainment. They are back in the headlines again. They are trying to reintroduce the World Heavyweight Championship.
Okay. So I didn't know that it had gone away.
Yes. So first off, this is very weird right now. WWE, they kind of go through these phases where they either want to have one big roster or 2 separate rosters.
Okay.
They have 2 major shows called SmackDown and Raw.
Right, and that's kind of like the conferences, if you will, or something like that. Right.
And sometimes they decree the wrestlers have to stick to that show, and that's like the permanent roster.
Okay.
Sometimes they decree, it's all going to be one giant roster. They can move back and forth.
Why do they keep changing it?
It depends on, honestly, like quality of talent To be honest with you, like
they can't just come up with a storyline where he's betraying his Raw people.
Sometimes they do that, yeah.
Okay.
But basically, it comes down to is do they actually have enough star power
in each house?
Right.
Okay.
Correct. So now they're going back to the other end of the spectrum where they're going to have separate rosters on SmackDown and Raw.
Right.
That can help, like the mid-tier cards, because then they get more exposure because they're featured more prominently on the shows. That's why you want to do it.
Right.
The problem, though, is that you usually have you have to have two champions, because you have to have a champion on Raw and a champion on SmackDown. The problem with that in this era right now is that Roman Reigns won both major championships and unified the titles already.
Oh.
So he's listed as the undisputed Universal WWE Champion. And he literally carries around two belts to show that he won both belts.
That's pretty impressive.
Well,
it's a lot of belts.
Well, now with this new integration that there's going to be strict roster separation, he's on SmackDown.
Okay.
Raw has nobody.
Right. So he stole Raw's belt essentially, kind of.
Sure, but
in a roundabout sort of way.
Yeah, in a roundabout sort of way, you can say that.
He has both divisions titles.
So he has these two belts. He's over there on SmackDown. Raw has nobody right now, which has led Triple H and WWE to reintroduce the World Heavyweight Championship belt.
Okay.
So that will represent Raw, and they're gonna have this tournament to crown the first World Heavyweight Championship on the Raw brand in this new modern era.
Okay.
Here's the weird thing about this: you would think they said tournament, right?
Right.
So you would think with 4 weeks leading up to the next pay-per-view, what would you do? You would do
kind of like a bracket,
right,
sort of thing,
right?
Or some kind of
right.
Yeah.
You would do like an 8-man bracket, 8-4, 4-2, 2-1.
Yeah.
Well, maybe you could do another one, 16-8, 8-4, whatever. The point is, you would do something like that.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Some kind of whittling down of the field.
Right. Instead, the geniuses at WWE are doing 2 triple threat matches each night on Raw and SmackDown.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's 3 people in this match.
Okay. And they're doing what, 2 of those?
Yeah, in one show.
Okay.
Then the following week, the winners of those triple threat matches face off against each other.
Okay.
And then whoever wins those matches will get the pay-per-view match to determine the World Heavyweight Championship.
And it's kind of like a tournament, right, though?
It is, but it's kind of wacky and out of place that you're doing 3-3.
Right.
And then a singles match.
Oh, yeah.
And they're doing a pair of those matches on SmackDown. Even though
which is
the title, even though the title is supposed to be on Raw.
I thought they were supposed to be separate.
Yeah. So everything about this is just, it feels like they're making the rules as like they're going along.
Why didn't they just do, so you said there's 4 weeks until the next pay-per-view. So why didn't they do like 3 triple matches and then you end up with 3 winners and then you get another triple match of the 3 winners of the previous?
How about you just do a regular freaking bracket tournament? Why is this that complicated?
It's wrestling. You can't just have 1v1. That's boring. Nobody wants that. They want ladders. They want bags. They want chairs. They want drama. They want the rumor mill. They want backstabbing. You're a wrestling fan, you know.
No, you can't do that. But here's the thing. You can't do that on like the weekly shows. The weekly shows cannot have you're supposed to save material like that, like either
for the big shows.
Yeah, for the pay-per-view or like the show leading up to the pay-per-view. You know? Like that's how you want to build this out. Like the fact that you're trying to knock this all out in like a week and then wait till the pay-per-view is weird.
Forget the tournament. Forget the triple threat things. Do what's the one that I like where they all run into the ring all at the same time and they're just fighting to the death? I just
Royal Rumble.
Yeah, I just want a death brawl. Do that. Why don't they just do? Why do they gotta? Here's the thing. It's very simple. Everybody beats up each other until one person is left not beat up. That's wrestling. Just do that. Why stray from the formula is there? Just have everybody fight, and then whoever is not dead wins the title. Isn't that the simplest way to do it?
That would be if you had to do it all in one night.
That would be fun.
That would be very chaotic.
I always like playing the video game where, you'd be like the first person into the ring and then you got to try and, withstand the next like 30 people coming in. Like that's the
Royal Rumble. You save that for the Royal Rumble pay-per-view. I just don't understand why, like literally Triple H said a tournament will be held. Like right there, it's built in. Just do 8 or 16 man tournament. Boom, boom, boom. It writes itself. Why would you complicate things by doing a weird triple threat component? And why is 2 of the matches being held on SmackDown when it's supposed to be all for the Raw Championship?
Yeah, you either got to keep them separate or bring them together. It's the going back and forth between the two that's confusing. So does that mean that somebody on SmackDown could win the Raw?
Yes.
Maybe that's what they want to do. Maybe you have to think of it in terms of storylines, right? Because obviously they have a plot behind the scenes that they're working on.
Yeah.
What if their plot is, oh no, Raw has to defend, not only does somebody have to win the title, but this is now Raw versus SmackDown or SmackDown versus Raw. Isn't that the thing? Isn't that the name?
That's what it
used to be, right? So like, what if they're just doing that? They're just finding a way to do that. It's pretty obvious, right? If they want to, rekindle the rivalry, what better way to do it than have somebody from SmackDown try to threaten the Raw supremacy?
Well, the problem, though, is that this title is so new now. The World Heavyweight Championship hasn't been a thing in, 8 years. So, does this really have any grabbing power
does
right
have
now?
any gravitas to really,
big, see, what they...
Oh, here you go. Here's the wrinkle. I just hire me as a writer. So, here's what happens, right? So, who is it? Roman Reigns?
Yeah.
He's on SmackDown.
Right.
So he's in one of those triple threat things, and he wins. So not only does he have both belts, but he could win a third belt.
Dear God, so many belts.
Hire me, WWE, hire me. I could do it. I don't know anything about it, but I could do it.
And then for SummerSlam, they're going to introduce a 4th belt.
And he's going to get a 4th belt. Could you imagine? He's got one strapped around his waist, one over each shoulder, and he just has to carry one in his hand. That's 4 belts. He's going to run out of...
Yeah, he's going to run out of arms.
You can only have 5 max. 1 on your waist, 1 on each shoulder, and 1 in each hand.
Yeah.
So 5 is the limit. I say they go right up to 5.
Yeah. He's going to have a 6th one by Christmas.
Where does that one go?
Yeah. I don't know. The whole thing doesn't make any sense.
We just came up with 2 different plot lines for them. So
I don't know. We'll see how they solve this conundrum of having this World Heavyweight Championship tournament.
It is very weird, and they're using the word tournament loosely, I think.
It just feels like they're making up the rules as they go along. Like they did not think this through.
Yeah.
Which that's very startling.
It is very startling, but
because right now the McMahons still are in control of WWE. The full sale hasn't gone through yet because remember we had that story.
That's right.
That they're getting bought out.
Yeah.
That hasn't gone through yet. So right now the McMahons are still in charge right now. So I don't know what they're...
What if they're trying to tank it before the sale?
Yeah, is this Succession?
I don't know. It's some kind of weird Succession plot line too.
Yeah, right?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll learn that behind the scenes in a couple of years. All right, and one more thing to talk about in the world of sports. You said this is a dual segment, so I guess we can.
Yeah, we can do whatever. We can make up the rules as we go too.
Yeah, too. If WWE can do it, we can do it too. So this is a dual segment of Fluke or Gnaw and what's pissing us off.
Old Open Specials, John Bruno DeCenzo presents
Fluke or Gnaw!
Let me get your right stuff right. Get off stage, goddamn goof, piss me off and jerk. Get on my nerves.
Yes, we're going to talk about the Los Angeles Lakers and LeBron. Because Mike just wants to get my blood pressure going.
I do. I like to see when he gets annoyed.
Yes.
But specifically, we're going to talk about load management in the NBA again. And the reason why this is a dual segment is because we have two topics here. One, we got to talk about why it's pissing Rich off so much. And fans in general, not just Rich. And two, we got to talk about, is it fluke or is it null? I mean, is this a viable strategy? And, why does it have a place in the NBA? So how do you want to tackle this first? I feel like you got something you want to get off your chest.
So I texted Mike, I'm just pissed off at the way the NBA, just the NBA playoff structure is and the way the NBA is currently just run.
Yeah.
So for those who don't know, the Los Angeles Lakers, they have LeBron James, and they are leading kind of like his last hurrah, trying to get him another ring before his career comes to an end. Because now he's in his mid-30s, which is ancient in terms of athletics.
Yeah.
And what they've decided to do, for better or for worse, is they specifically choose on the schedule during the season when he's going to play so that he has enough time to recover and he doesn't risk further injury. And most importantly, they keep him healthy when they get into the playoffs. What makes this even worse now in the modern era, though, is that the NBA, because they have this stupid play-in tournament, literally the top 10 teams out of 15 make the playoffs. So literally all you have to do is just have a freaking pulse. All you got to do is at least be like 5 games below 500 and you'll make the play-in tournament.
Yeah, you don't need to be good at all.
No. All you got to do is just not be atrociously bad. Just be mediocre or just a step below mediocre and you will make the playoffs. And the Lakers, that's essentially what they did. They did not want LeBron to risk any further injury during the playoffs. They wanted to keep him healthy in time for the playoffs to roll around. They made the play-in tournament, activated LeBron, made sure that he was ready to go. They won the play-in tournament, ended up as a 7th seed, and right now they are rolling through the playoffs as a 7th seed, which is just weird kind of to see when you look at the bracket. And now they're on the verge of making the Western Conference Finals this week. And I'm just... This hurts me just in multiple ways because I'm pissed off at the... I will say, I'm more pissed off at the NBA on this particular subject than I am at LeBron James. But this also does kind of tie into the whole LeBron James versus Michael Jordan thing. I cannot... Every time he gets a ring, there's always just some like asterisk to it. There's just something it's not quite his championship. There's something that was an addendum or something that helped him get that championship. And it just pisses me off that he's probably right now he's going to make the Western Conference Finals because right now they're just rolling through teams because he's 100% healthy because the team was able to just like put him on ice and get him just ready for this.
Put him on ice.
Yeah, but that's essentially what the Lakers' strategy was. He played. I texted to you what he played 50. I forget what it was. He only played 2/3 of the season games for the Lakers. And by the way, for those that think that this doesn't hurt people, this load management stuff it hurts the fans. Because what happens if I want to go to a Sixers game? And I go there, and all of a sudden, sorry, Joel Embiid's not playing tonight. We got to keep him on ice. We got to make sure that he's good to go for the playoffs. Like that sucks. You pay all this money for a ticket, and you don't get to see your stars because they're more worried about the end of the season and making the tournament because they all know all you got to do is just make the tournament, and all you got to do to do that is just have an IQ above 5. Like just
yeah. I mean, they're letting in 2/3 of teams. No, it's definitely disappointing, because basketball is a very star-driven sport. When you go to watch a game like, football or soccer, or even like hockey to a lesser degree, or baseball, you're there watching kind of like everybody. But because a basketball roster is so small, there's only 5 guys out there at any given time, and only one person handling the ball at any given time. it's very much a sport where one player can dominate a game by themselves. And so you go to see basketball games for that player. You go to watch LeBron or to watch back in the day Kobe or Jordan or whoever it was. You don't go to watch the Lakers. Nobody cares about the Lakers. They care about the player, right? In Philadelphia, it was AI.
Yep.
Right? So it does suck if you want to go to a game and guess what? The star's not playing. On the flip side, I do have to say, though, that while it is disappointing and frustrating, it's not completely unprecedented. I mean, we live in an era where pitchers pitch less than they ever have in the history of baseball. Pitchers only pitch once every 5 days. Closers only pitch 1 inning. In football, several years ago, they've made changes to get away from this, but we, remember the years where Andy Reid would sit the starters the last 2.5 games of the season. In a football season, that's, not a third, but it's a significant portion of the season to just sit everybody. And teams still do kind of do that in some cases. So it's not unprecedented. I think the issue is there's a few different aspects to it.
Yeah,
where,
can I issue a critique?
Yeah.
Because I would say for the football argument, at least they earned. So you're
they
saying
got to the end of the season, so they earned the right to sit.
Right.
By actively, winning enough games to make the
right.
playoffs.
You're talking about when teams like clinch a bye week or something.
Yeah.
You've earned the right if you've made it that far into the season.
Doesn't change the disappointment of wanting to go to a game and then finding out you're getting to see third stringers.
True. But it happens, but not as often. Let's put it this way. It's going to happen a lot more in the NBA because of this weird load management theory that you allow anybody that's breathing comes into the playoffs.
I mean, you're right. You're right. It is going to happen more often, but I also
think the NBA schedules these weird back-to-back games where they know the second game in a back-to-back is a hindrance on the team.
Yeah.
So the team doesn't want to risk injury to their star player. They take them out.
Yeah. So I will say though
I know I'm hitting on LeBron specifically.
You are,
because it does bother me a little bit there. But really, my focus is on the way the NBA is set up. That's the thing I think we can both agree on. They need to change or figure this out a better way.
So I will say that the NFL, to go back to that example, they actively stepped in to combat that by backloading the schedule with division games. There's a lot of things the NFL does that are not player-friendly in terms of scheduling, like Thursday night games. But the NBA, I think, takes the cake with, like you said, back-to-back games. And here's the thing. It is the most physical sport that has a season as long as it does, because baseball obviously has the longest season, but they're standing around for like 80% of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like they're picking daisies out there.
Yeah. Or they're spitting in the dugout.
Right. They're playing with themselves and coming up with weird signals to say, hit the ball. They're like doing all this and it amounts to swing.
Very good.
Just being very dismissive. Football's very violent, but they only play 17 games. Basketball is super physical. They're running almost nonstop. They're, throwing bows. They're jumping. I mean, that's a lot of hard, impact on the knees and ankles. 82 games. So it's a unique combination of being super physical, and there's a lot of games. If, for instance, the season were 60 games, all of a sudden that 54 games that LeBron played doesn't look as egregious as 54 out of 80 something.
Yeah.
Right? So I think part of it is just the way that the NBA schedules games and how long the season is, how physical the sport is, and the science backs it up. As we were talking, I very briefly just looked up load management. I found an article from The Athletic that talks about some models that they have that can predict injury with 85% accuracy just based on the way that players are running or walking. And they say they can predict a hamstring injury 10 minutes before it happens just by looking at these models. So
Take that, doctors.
I mean, that's amazing.
AI's coming for you.
But that's what they're trying to prevent is a very physical sport that demands a lot of time from their players from injuring these stars, because that is what's driving the business of the NBA. Nobody's going to come to see Lakers games if LeBron's not playing. So you'd rather sit him for 30% make sure he's healthy for the other 70, than risk an injury and he's not playing anything.
Yeah.
So
it's just
it is super disappointing. I am in complete agreement there. It is super
Yeah.
disappointing, but I do think it's unfortunately the future for the NBA unless they change something with how they schedule the games and how they pace out the season.
Yeah, and
You know,
unfortunately,
it's not going to.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't see them changing it because the way they have it set up, they can charge more for more games and charge more for the play-in tournament. And
I will say, if they're smarter about scheduling the load management, just make it all away games. That way, the home crowd team still gets to see LeBron. When he goes to, I don't know, Oklahoma, who cares?
yeah, who cares about Oklahoma City?
You know, no, I mean, I'm serious. I mean, that would be one solution because then the fans still get to see something, the players still get to rest, and if everybody's doing it, it kind of levels the playing field like the steroid era in baseball.
Well, I don't think it'll be that simple, but it just bothers me that I don't know. It just seems like the Lakers just kind of rolled into this playoff.
All I'll say is this: is that we can't fault teams for being on the cutting edge of finding these loopholes because the Eagles had 93% success on a certain quarterback sneak type play that they wanted to ban in the NFL. So you can't fault teams for finding loopholes in how.
But that's I don't know. I think that's a little bit of a stretch. The Eagles that's a legitimate play you make in football. Whereas
it's a legitimate thing to sit a player for injury concern.
Yeah, but how much bullshit can you lie on the injury concern? I don't know. There's got to be a really thick layer of BS on that.
I'm just saying it's disappointing, but it's a viable strategy.
I think this is more egregious. This is far more egregious than the Eagles and their quarterback sneak.
I think it's something that we got to get used to in the NBA, and teams are going to have to find a way to combat it.
I mean, you know, why even have the first half of the season at this rate?
I'm always in favor of shorter seasons.
Yeah, at this rate. Because apparently the stars aren't playing, so I don't know.
Shorten the season. That solves all the problems.
Yeah. But there you go. All the sports topics that we wanted to hit right then and there. we went through the checklist. We're all good now. But don't go anywhere because we still got the entertainment entree coming up and then the non-fortune cookie odd news coming your way. I might have the voicemail, the holy grail of voicemails to share with you coming up in the second half of the show. Don't go anywhere. This is the Crispy Noodle Podcast.
The 24-hour Game Show Marathon is back for another record-breaking year. Watch as Game Show fans recreate 24 of their favorite game shows, all to raise money for Child's Play. Child's Play delivers therapeutic games and technology directly to pediatric hospitals to improve patients' lives through the power of play. Watch the fun Saturday, June 3rd, 2023, and donate now at GameShowMarathon.com.
Ready for the weekend? Happy Friday. Hi, my name's Marie, and I'm an artist who's been making Happy Friday doodles every week for over 7 years. And now you can own my art collection in this Volume 1 and Volume 2 art series. These doodles span across multiple themes, yearly festivities, various countries, languages, and more. Both coffee table books have something for everyone and are the perfect conversation starter or gift for a friend. Really, anyone who enjoys a good weekend. Available on Amazon, Ingram, BookBaby, Barnes & Noble, and more. Visit happyfridaydoodles.com/books and get your copies today. Let's celebrate the best day of the week. Happy Friday.
If you go to Taco Bell at 3 in the morning, this is what you're going to get. Yeah,
that clip is already coming into play.
Yes, already. So there you go.
Stop.
What happened?
The thing went on.
Well, how did that turn on?
I don't know. The fart sound.
The fart sound turned Amazon on?
I think the fart sound turned on my Echo.
What
I don't know. It turned on.
What are you doing, Jeff Bezos? What are you into?
Bezos, he's listening to fart sounds.
He's listening to our fart sounds. Oh, my God.
I changed the trigger word to fart. I got to fart at it now. I don't know what happened.
That's really awkward. You're going to have to... Excuse me.
Excuse me. How can I help you?
You may need some bowel.
Do you want me to automatically order you Pepto-Bismol? I don't know why. I don't know why I'm talking to it solely through farts now.
It actually, you fart into it.
Fart once for yes and twice for no.
No. Actually, you fart into the device, and then
Yeah.
Amazon can determine what
you-
medicine you need.
Oh, right. Wow. That's next level right there. Or what you've been eating and what you want to reorder.
Oh.
I detect Cheetos. Would you like to subscribe?
Would you like a bulk order of Cheetos?
Ooh, yes, please.
Cheetos ordered.
Cheetos. That story took a turn.
Yeah.
Cheetos ordered.
Okay. All right. There you go. The latest from Jeff Bezos and Amazon.
It's amazing technology, I tell you.
Yeah.
The 24-hour Game Show Marathon is back for another record-breaking year. Watch as Game Show fans recreate 24 of their favorite game shows, all to raise money for Child's Play. Child's Play delivers therapeutic games and technology directly to pediatric hospitals to improve patients' lives through the power of play. Watch the fun Saturday, June 3rd, 2023, and donate now at GameShowMarathon.com.
Oh, yeah. We're back here on the Crispy Noodle Podcast. We had a couple topics in the world of sports. One of them was wrestling, so I figured I'd pull out the WrestleMania Classic music.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go. Super Nintendo days. You know what, though? It's interesting because WWE says that they are sports entertainment.
Yeah.
So it's it's very appropriate that we go from sports into entertainment, right?
Perfect.
So there you go. Time for the entertainment entree.
And now, the latest in movies.
The Simpson guy writes to movies. Dear Die Hard, you rock. Especially when that guy was on the roof.
Music.
I know what that is. That's music.
Video games.
I'm Commander Shepard, and this is my favorite store on the Citadel.
Celebrities.
You really know Warren Beatty? Yes, I do. I took a leak next to him once at the Golden Globes.
And more.
You were the all-singing, all-dancing crap of the world.
This is the entertainment entree.
All right, so there you go. Officially in the entertainment entree portion of our show. And we're going to kick it off with the segment where Mike is going to let you know what you should keep an eye out for this upcoming week with new movies, new TV, and new video games in Mike's This Week in Entertainment. All right, Mikey, what do you got for the people?
All right, well, first up in television, The Game Show airs on ABC this week. It's a 4-part docuseries about the history of game shows throughout TV and radio history. And this is a fun fact, a friend of the Crispy Noodle and a co-host of the 24-hour game show marathon, Christian Carrion, is interviewed as part of the series as a game show expert. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's weird. We had him on the show back a while back when when we were when we had connections and stuff that we could have special guests on the show. But yeah, we do the game show marathon together, which it's all tying in perfectly because we've got this documentary where he's going to be interviewed as a game show historian and expert. And then we've got the 24-hour game show in June 3rd, June 4th. So,
do you think he was allowed to plug it during an interview, or did they mention like in his bottom third, like co-host of the?
He probably couldn't mention it directly because it's a documentary.
Right.
But
maybe in
you
his
know,
bottom third, the
maybe.
little ticker, they're like,
Yeah.
that'd be pretty cool.
Representative of GameShowMarathon.com, maybe
Right.
something like that.
What game show is he the biggest expert on? Would you say? Because you co-host the game show marathon with these guys.
Christian always comes up with like these game shows that like you never heard of. Like I remember one year he pitched us, oh, there's a Tetris game show, and we're like, what?
What does that even mean?
What wacky?
What is a Tetris game show?
What wacky TV producer got stoned and was like,
kids are playing the games.
I want to make Tetris a game show. You know, he always finds like these like crazy things that you're like, that was a game show, and like,
So the really obscure stuff.
Yeah.
That's the fun part of the 24-hour game show marathon is you guys always do like the weirdest things sometimes, like very obscure stuff.
Yeah. Usually it's him. 9 times out of 10, if it's a game show that you're like, where is that from? It's usually Christian.
So I bet during this docuseries they're gonna interview him for some really weird, obscure, like the dark side of game show history. Like, what's the weirdest stuff that's happened?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know about the dark side of history, but he definitely has the depth of game show knowledge to hit you up with some wacky game show ideas that you never even considered were ideas.
Well, there you go. If you'd like to learn more, check it out. That's the Game Show airing on ABC. It's a 4-part docuseries. Go check it out.
And then you can watch Christian Carrion and me on the Game Show Marathon on June 3rd and June
That's
4th.
right. Coming up right around the corner, so keep an eye out for that as well. But in the world of video games, moving from one type of game to another, The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom is the follow-up to one of the biggest Switch games of the generation, Breath of the Wild. You know what you're getting when it comes to Zelda. You have limitless exploration, you have creative combat, you have plenty of platforming and puzzles. The first game wowed gamers with the ability to go anywhere and interact with almost anything, and the sequel is taking it a step further. Players can combine various objects in the world to build elaborate contraptions for fighting and traversing through the environment. So there's trailers out there where you can like glue objects together to make like an airplane and to make like a sword that has another sword attached to it, like really wild stuff. And the first game was a lot of fun. You could literally climb any object in the environment as long as you had enough stamina. So it was an open world where you could go anywhere. There were no walls anywhere. Just keep climbing until you died. That was your only limit. So fans are really looking forward to Tears of the Kingdom. Go check it out exclusively on Switch. And that's what we're looking forward to this week in entertainment.
All right, Mikey, thank you for that segment this week in entertainment. The big entertainment news shouldn't be that much of a surprise. It is the fact that the WGA strike is still going on. All of the late night shows, I believe, is pretty much on halt. I can't think of one that's operating. I think they're all stopped.
Yeah, all the late night shows are halted, and that's basically the topic for today is just talking about the various production stops and production continuations under the WGA strike. Just to give a little bit of history, the writers are striking for better pay up front, better contracts. In the world of streaming, there's less residuals, there's no syndication, there's less ways for writers to make a living writing and also to find reliable and steady work with the kind of wild west of streaming. So they're striking for more rights, better pay. And of course, that has a huge impact on entertainment because it means that productions for the fall now are starting to get to the point where they are having to choose whether they're going to continue or whether they're going to stop. And we have a whole list of big shows that have recently announced where they stand on the matter. Some of our favorites here on the podcast, Stranger Things, Cobra Kai, halting or did not even start production on their next seasons. In the world of the MCU, Blade was also paused. They were in the middle of rewrites. You can't really finish a movie production if you can't finish the script. One of my personal favorites, Abbott Elementary, they were just about to start meeting in the writer's room to hash out season 3, and that has been delayed. So we're now getting to the point where fall television shows are probably not going to happen in the fall. It's the whole, fall sweeps is going to be pushed to the spring probably. Last time the writer's strike, I think it was 2007. lasted about 100 days. So if this continues the way that it did the last time, we're looking at these productions not resuming until the end of the summer, basically.
Yeah,
it's a long time.
3 months?
Yeah, 3 months.
Oof.
It's a long time to halt production. And like you pointed out, all the late night shows have stopped because they air every single day. You need a huge writing staff to constantly churn out stuff. So they're all done. I think it's interesting that all the late night hosts gave their explicit support of the writer's strike, except for that punk Jimmy Kimmel. I hate that smug ass.
Yeah, you're not a big Jimmy Kimmel
He's
fan.
He's so annoying. His face is just so punchable.
Okay.
Don't you think he looks like obnoxious? Yeah. I don't like Jimmy Kimmel. He rubs me the wrong way. Him and Bill Maher.
Okay.
Bother me.
Very
but Bill Maher at least, gave some kind of support to the writers. Everybody else did as well, except for Jimmy Kimmel. But it'll be interesting to see how they go, because a lot of them resumed back during the first strike by improving material. Eventually.
I'm kind of surprised Bill Maher can't do a show, because his show is mostly like conversation. I know he has. Well, he does do a monologue, so I guess that has to be writing, and then he does an editorial at the end. Okay.
Yeah, it says that he's going off the air, so yeah, it's nobody knows really when these shows are going to come back, but they're all Bill Maher, Last Week Tonight, Jimmy Kimmel, Jimmy Fallon, Seth Meyers, The Daily Show. They're all ground to a halt right now.
Yeah.
Because even if they do improv a lot, you need, just like we do on this show, you have to come up with the structure of the show and come up with the jokes and come up with, every little tiny thing requires some kind of writer on set or in the writer's room to figure out how the thing is going to go down.
Yeah.
Or
else you have Conan O'Brien spinning his ring. that he did that for 30 minutes of one of his shows.
Yeah, exactly. Or you end up with my favorite example. The last time the writer's strike happened was Lost came up with time traveling atomic bombs.
Ugh.
So it's definitely a dark day in entertainment when the writers go on strike. But making it a little darker, though, maybe are some statements from the CEO of Warner Brothers Discovery, David Zaslav. He recently had an interview with CNBC where he was asked what would eventually bring the writers and the production companies back together. What would repair this division? And he said, quote, "A love for the business and a love for working." Oh boy.
What? Yeah, boy.
Oh, good for you.
That's
not really a very good way to frame things during the middle of a strike where writers are striking for their livelihoods.
Yeah.
It's they just love working so much.
Yeah, I don't think love of working is the problem here.
Yeah. And unfortunately, this is something that gets talked about sometimes with creative fields, but I feel like doesn't get enough exposure.
I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
That's what I award David Zaslav.
That's what he gets.
Yeah.
But I have to say that he is partially correct. Now, hear me out. Not in the way that you think. It's unfortunate, but with creative fields, what you'll hear a lot of creatives say is that they put up with a lot of BS because they do love what they do. That's why they go into it, because it's not glamorous work. You think it's going to be glamorous work, but a lot of creative positions, specifically, it's a problem in video games where they are, pushed to 100-hour weeks and, working on weekends and nights and sleeping in offices because they truly love what they do. And that makes those individuals susceptible to being taken advantage of. So the CEO, David Zaslav, is correct in that they do love what they do, but it's incredibly tone deaf for him to say something like this, especially given the fact that his company, Warner Brothers Discovery, recently oversaw the removal and cancellation of so many in production and completed television shows and movies on HBO Max in order to avoid paying creatives and producers residuals.
Yeah.
I mean, how absolutely tone deaf and idiotic do you have to be to say something like that?
Very much so. And yeah, that's an embarrassing statement to make on his part. It's
completely oblivious.
Yeah, and I feel like this is why this strike might last long, because it seems like they're just these movie executives and CEOs, they're just completely out of touch with what the writers need.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And the landscape has changed so much with the advent of streaming that it is understandably more difficult. But it's kind of one of those like chicken and egg things. Netflix and HBO Max is like, oh, people come to our service because they love our shows. Well, it's because the writers had a huge part in the creation of those shows that people are coming to your services.
Yeah.
People aren't going to come if it's trash. At least I hope that people don't go to those services if the content is trash. I mean, the reason why I started watching Netflix is for shows like House of Cards and Stranger Things and Orange is the New Black and all these amazing TV shows that they've had over the years.
Well, you may have to rewatch them because there might not be any new content coming out for a little bit.
Yeah, unfortunately, that is the way it's looking. But there are a few shows that are continuing with production, though. This is fun. They're going to continue without writers and/or on Disney+. The scripts have been turned in, and the showrunners are doing non-writing work. Disney has instructed all of its showrunners to basically continue like nothing is happening. Okay.
You're going to be okay. Say the goddamn words. You're going to be okay. Oh, God. Say the goddamn words.
That's actually audio.
That's actually Bob Iger from Disney. Say the words.
Yeah, that's direct audio there. We had a secret microphone there.
I don't know how we pulled that one off, but that's just the amazing Crispy Noodle production staff.
Yeah, we have a crack team.
Crack team. It's interesting, though. I do have to bring up the concept of showrunners because, people are like, what does it mean to be a showrunner? Showrunner, the WGA classifies that as a multi-hyphenated role, which means they're directors, producers, and writers. They're allowed to work on a project as long as they're not writing, which I think is weird, and it may cause some issues because how do you as a showrunner work on your show without writing? Like in the middle of production and lines are being improv'd or you realize there's some pacing issues.
Does that count?
Where's the line between directorial efforts and writing?
Yeah, if I improv a line, is that writing? Yeah, that kind of gets into some gray area.
Right, or if you tell the actress, hey, don't say this, but say this, this, and this. It's not written down. You're just directing them to say it. Like, where's that line? But Disney, they're taking advantage of that. They're saying showrunners, keep working like nothing's happening. But it gets stranger, though. House of the Dragon on HBO has resumed production with no writers on set. The scripts are turned in. But with a huge fantasy show, no writers on set. That's going to be a problem.
That sounds like a hindrance.
That sounds like a big hindrance. I mean, with these sci-fi and fantasy, you have massive worlds to, focus on the continuity and make sure that everything is lining up correctly. No writers on set. It can get dicey. But the real disaster train wreck here, I can't wait. I kind of can't wait to see the reviews of this season eventually when it comes out. Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power is continuing production with no writers and no showrunners.
It's about to get all stupid up in here!
What does that even mean? Are actors just showing up on set and just doing their thing?
Yeah, we're just going to improv.
There's no
the Rings of Power?
No showrunners. I mean, the first season kind of felt like it. I did not enjoy the 5 out of 8 episodes that I watched. But no writers, no showrunners. Absolutely disastrous, I think.
That sounds like a recipe for disaster.
Right?
Yeah.
The first season was already awful.
All right. Well, good luck, Rings of Power.
It's going to be a wild time.
Yep.
But there you go. WGA strike continues. All of our entertainment for the fall could be impacted if this continues on like it did the last time.
Yeah. But, I think the Writers Guild, they need to do it.
They have to.
It's like you said, who really gets paid for syndication anymore? There's no syndication really.
No, there's no syndication. How do you divvy up residuals for a television show on Netflix where everything is subscriber based? There's no ad dollars.
Yeah.
There's no, It's weird.
Yep.
It's weird times.
So there you go. The WGA strike continues. All right, now let's get into the third and final portion of the show, folks. Something that definitely is not written. That's
don't need writers for this one.
Nope. It's time for the non-fortune cookie odd news.
We've been talking about cool and its ramifications and how it applies to the hip scene. But maybe you could give us some examples now of the opposite of cool, uncool. Just exactly what is uncool?
My nipples look like milk duds.
Holy shnikes.
It's time for the non-fortune cookie odd news.
It's not of this world. I don't know exactly what it is or what it's doing, but this is not human intelligence, okay? It's not human intelligence we're facing.
How you doing? Me? I'm doing great.
Mandada basata. I don't make this stuff up.
I'll take a pound of nuts.
That's a lot of nuts. That'll be $4, baby. You want fries with that?
I seen the celery dance across the baseball fields.
You had me at meat tornado.
No, go past this. Past this part. In fact, never play this again.
Okay. What does that mean?
And now it's time for the non-fortune cookie odd news.
So sit back, get everything you need to get from the kitchen. Be sure and empty the bladders, go to the bathroom, because you're in for a hell of a ride.
We're not always ready to change from the caterpillar into the butterfly. Sometimes we want to cocoon.
Oh, there you go. I'm starting the odd news off with a random clip.
Okay.
Because it came to my attention that Matthew McConaughey, I guess he's still in the middle of his reconnaissance.
Sure, I guess. That's a stretch, but all right.
Yes. Led a 5-hour self-help live video conference. I don't even know what you call this.
What
he called? Well, obviously,
what was he helping people with?
I don't know. It's his whole thing. Just keep living. You know, he thinks like
what?
I think he's trying to start his own religion or something. Like at first,
what does that mean? Just keep living.
Like
isn't that what I was already doing?
Yeah, I think that's what we're trying to do. But like this started off as like kind of like his mantra and stuff.
Okay.
And I get that. And then, like, he got, very acclaimed with, the works that he did between True Detective and Dallas Buyers Club and everything.
Right.
And he used the Just Keep Living thing in his Best Actor speech.
Uh-huh.
And I don't know.
You think he's trying to start a religion around this?
I don't know. The man did a 5-hour video conference with people that paid money to watch him talk about stuff.
That does sound like a religion.
Yeah, and this was one of his brilliant pearls of wisdom.
Always ready to change from the caterpillar into the butterfly. Sometimes we want to cocoon.
Yeah.
Why does he add like four extra O's to cocoon? Cocoon.
Yeah. You may not want to change from the caterpillar to the butterfly. Sometimes you got to cocoon.
Cocoon.
Yeah.
I
don't know.
He's a weird dude.
Yes, he's a very weird dude.
He does a lot of drugs.
Yeah, I'm sure that's helping out. I'm sure that helps come up with some of his
sayings. Just keep living.
Just keep living. JKL.
Okay,
just keep living.
I wasn't planning on stopping. I don't know.
That's the follow-up.
That's the follow-up.
Don't be sure not to stop.
Right. I don't know. He said it took 5 hours to say that?
I don't know. That was his conference or something. This video conference.
Okay, sure.
Which is it's starting to sound like a religion. Like he's
5 hours. Where can I find a copy of this online?
I'm sure you can find one on YouTube or somewhere.
Okay. Do I have to pay for it? I don't want to pay for it.
Yeah, at this point I think you can find it for free. But
okay.
That's one of his highlights from the Just Keep Living conference.
Easy. We're not always ready to change from the caterpillar into the butterfly. Sometimes we want to cocoon.
There you go. Sometimes you want a cocoon.
So my question, though, is why are we starting the odd news? I didn't even do the odd news spiel. Why are we starting the odd news like this?
So I had just a couple of clips I just wanted to play. I kind of had this kind of in the background of things that I wanted to talk about, but it's kind of evergreen. It doesn't have to be a certain time frame.
Okay.
So that was one of them that I wanted to get off my list.
Sure.
That was just bizarre. Matthew McConaughey, go ahead. Have fun. We're all living in Matthew McConaughey's world at this point. I don't know.
We're just passengers.
Right. And then the second clip that I wanted to play, this is like the holy grail of voicemail messages. This is a little bit of a story that I have to bring in an introduction to.
Okay.
So do you know Mike Judge?
Yeah, he's the creator of King of the Hill, Beavis and Butthead.
Right. So he did
right?
Beavis and Butthead first.
Right.
Right. Became famous for it, everything like that.
Right.
He told a story on late night TV that, in the height of his popularity with Beavis and Butthead, he got an answering machine message from some disgruntled viewer.
Okay.
Who didn't like the Beavis and Butthead show.
Sure.
Thought it wasn't appropriate for kids.
I'm sure that happened, yeah.
Two things, though. He left this crazy voicemail message.
Right.
One, for some reason, and it's still not explained to this day, this caller thought Beavis and Butthead was actually called Porky's Butthole.
What?
He thought that was the name of the show.
Are you sure this person wasn't confused and was like watching another show?
No,
Porky's Butthole.
He thought the show was called Porky's Butthole.
Okay.
And two, Mike Judge said that when he heard this voicemail, that's how he got the inspiration for Boomhauer on King of the Hill.
Oh, man.
And he told this story, and it's a great clip. Just, when you watch it, you just laugh your ass off. But allegedly, this is the voicemail. Mike Judge released it, and this is allegedly the birth of Boomhauer.
Oh, this is exciting. I love Boomhauer.
Yes.
For those of you that don't know, he's the character that talks like that.
Well, I think you're going to find inspiration in this as well. So
okay.
I would like to play for you here in the Odd News the holy grail of voicemails. This is the original Boomhauer, I guess.
All right.
But instead of complaining about Beavis and Butthead, he's complaining about Porky's Butthole.
I'm excited. Let's go.
Here we go.
I've been calling y'all for better than a month. Proud about y'all. Every time the Looney Tunes come on, y'all put Porky's Butthole on. I figured last night, and the second cartoon come on, it was Porky's friggin' old butthole. I said, surely y'all ain't gonna put the last two on Porky's friggin' butthole. Now y'all gonna die if y'all don't put Porky's friggin' butthole on the last daggone cartoon like y'all did this morning. I've seen the daggone crap 1.5 times. I don't see why in the heck y'all think these daggone youngsters are gonna sit there and watch Porky's daggone butthole time after time after time after time and don't ever get tired of it. And yes, y'all, I got up at 7:30 in the morning and watched all day, and I don't think y'all was right on time with the own show all daggum day. I went to bed last night wanting to get one right, but y'all was wrong, still wrong. I don't say. I guess I'm going to call the FCC about shutting y'all's butt down. Y'all.
There you go.
That sounds exactly like Boomhauer.
I just love,
exactly like him.
I just love this one. The first line, because somebody transcribed it.
Somebody transcribed this?
Yes.
How?
I've been calling y'all for better than a month, driving about y'all every time Looney Tunes come on. Y'all put Porky's butthole.
Y'all put Porky's butthole.
I figured last night, and the second cartoon comes on, it was Porky's freaking old butthole.
What is this person talking about?
He's saying that he put Looney Tunes on,
but it was Porky's butthole.
Beavis and Butthead came on afterwards.
Okay,
but he keeps calling it Porky's butthole.
Oh, maybe he's saying that it's crap. It's like a butthole. I don't know. Porky's butthole.
But so yeah,
that's amazing.
Two things just amazing that he thinks that the show is actually legitimately called Porky's Butthole. But also number two, what you heard is the birth of Boomhauer. That's the inspiration. That's how we got that character.
Hearing that makes me want to rewatch King of the Hill. That was spot on. The best unintentional Boomhauer impersonation ever.
I love the dang-ole.
Dang-ole. I mean, that's how the Boomhauer talks. You know what I mean? That's exactly how Boomhauer
There's also,
talks.
by the way, I don't know if you guys noticed that. In the middle of all this, there's actually a legitimate death threat. He actually says, y'all gonna die if you don't put
Oh, wait.
freaking butthole. He actually puts a death threat in there.
I didn't even catch that.
Yeah. I've seen the dang old crap 500,000 times.
Stop watching it then.
Oh, my God.
Porky's butthole. Daggum.
Daggone it. So, I don't know. Just one more time. Let's just so you can.
one
One more time. So now I had some transcribing action with that. Here you go.
I've been calling y'all for better than a month, growling about y'all every time the Looney Tunes come on. Y'all put Porky's butthole on. I figured last night, and the second cartoon come on, it was Porky's friggin' old butthole. I said, surely y'all ain't gonna put the last two on Porky's friggin' butthole. Now y'all gonna die if y'all don't put Porky's friggin' butthole on the last daggone cartoon like y'all did this morning. I've seen the daggone crap 500,000 times. I don't see why in the heck y'all think these daggone youngsters are gonna sit there and watch Porky's daggone butthole time after time after time after time and don't ever get tired of it. Like, and yesterday y'all, I got up at 7:30 in the morning and watched all day, and I don't think y'all was right on time with the old show all daggum day. I went to bed last night wanting to get one right, but y'all was wrong, still wrong. I don't see how. I guess I'm going to call the FCC about shutting y'all's butt down.
So
That's
there you
amazing.
go. Just
How did he even get his number?
I don't know. Maybe it's an office number, or maybe just one of those.
He just calls the station.
Yeah, maybe called the station or something. But
That's amazing.
just thank you, whoever
All
this
daggum day.
whoever this bumbling
It's
guy is.
Boomhauer.
Yeah, this is the original Boomhauer.
It's actually Boomhauer.
Yeah. So this guy gave birth to Porky's butthole and
Porky's butthole, man.
Boomhauer.
What a great show, Porky's butthole.
I just don't know why he thought why would he think a legitimate cartoon show was going to be called Porky's Butthole?
Are we even sure that he was actually watching Beavis and Butthead?
I don't know. Yeah, maybe. Yeah,
Maybe he was watching something.
Maybe it was actually Porky Pig, and
maybe there's a scene that had his butthole. I don't know.
Yeah, what does Porky Pig do in these?
Yeah,
Looney
what's happening?
Tunes?
What's happening with the Looney Tunes back then?
Yeah, I don't know, but
Porky's butthole.
that is the holy grail of voicemail messages because
that was something.
Nobody thought we'd ever hear it. It was a story that Mike Judge told a lot.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yep.
And also, God, go watch King of the Hill. That show is so underrated.
Yeah, it is a good show.
Do you remember back in the day when it was, I think it was King of the Hill, Simpsons, then Family Guy, like boom, boom, boom,
Yeah.
back to back to back.
Three solid cartoons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yep. And then Porky's old butthole.
And Porky's old butthole. Those are the good old days.
Yeah.
Watching Porky's butthole.
Daggone.
What did Porky's butthole do?
What didn't it do?
Oh, yeah. Solid 23 minutes of animated fun.
Yeah.
Porky's butthole.
Yeah. So there you go. I had that kind of saved in the background, but I needed to eventually get that off my plate, and I chose this week to do it because
that was a good little I don't know, audio clip thing.
Yeah, it's like the holy grail of voicemail messages. I never thought we'd actually hear the original Boomhauer.
The real life Boomhauer.
Yeah, there is some guy down south that literally talks like this.
And the thing is, he sounds that way all the time, probably.
Yeah, he's just
talks,
walking around.
He just talks that way to friends and family, and they understand him. Maybe
I hope so, or they just nod their head and you're just
they're like, yep,
sure,
that's right, Uncle Boomhauer.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's crazy. Wow.
Yeah, that's exactly what the response is. So that's just what I have for you in the catch-up of the odd news stories. I wanted to put that out there. Before we wrap up this episode of the Crispy Noodle Podcast, I'm kind of I'm clearing out my backlogs here between previous clips that I wanted to play. I also had a fan email.
Oh, an email?
Yeah.
Oh.
Just wanted to clarify this to wrap up the show. This is why you should listen to the end of the show.
Okay.
You never know when I'm going to clear the airwaves.
Oh, I'm concerned now.
Maybe in the beginning of the show, maybe in the middle of the show, maybe at the end of the show.
It's going to clear it up somewhere. Somehow.
We're doing it at the end of the show.
Okay.
But listener Jonathan sent me an email. He said, hey, you guys do a great show. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
His main question, though, is he wanted to know where the nastiness clips come from.
The nastiness
Yes.
clips?
I believe he's talking about this one.
There was a bit of a nastiness last night, yes? Some very extreme nastiness, yes? Yes.
Well, that's all you. I mean, you're,
right.
you're
Do you
the
know?
clip master. Do I know?
Yeah. Do you know?
Hold on a second. That is from, I believe, is that an SNL skit about? No, it's not. Then I'm already wrong.
Yeah. So this clip is from A Clockwork Orange.
Oh.
And it's the weird, strange visiting doctor that comes to see Alex. And it's really like a weird homoerotic scene because, like...
that whole movie's weird.
Yeah. Like, Alex is, like, getting a shower, and he only has, like, his tighty whities on, and, like, the doctor just shows up in his bedroom. Just like, I'm trying to make sure you're okay, yes?
Yeah.
There was a bit of a nastiness last night, yes? Some very extreme nastiness, yes? Yes.
And, yeah, he's one of the creepiest doctors I've ever seen portrayed in movie or TV.
Yeah.
I mean, what other doctor just randomly shows up in your
bedroom
after you just got a shower and you only have tighty whities on?
Was he invited?
Yeah, I think his parents, like, it's been a while since I've seen the movie.
The parents let him up? They're
yeah.
Like, yeah, he's just taking a shower. You can head on up.
Yeah, like, go see him, yeah.
That's weird.
And he's sitting in his bed. He's like, come on, I'm going to have a seat with you, have a little chat. Yes, yes.
After the guy gets out of the shower?
Yeah, like.
He's just waiting for him in the room?
Yeah.
And sounds like the beginning of a really bad porno.
Yeah. It is. It's very.
He's like, oh, sorry. Did I just walk in? I didn't mean to. Oh, I can stay?
Yeah. And
like,
he has that weird, and then he has the weird accent, which is why I had to pull it.
Yeah.
And listener Jonathan, he wanted to know where that was from. So I hope that answers your question. It's from A Clockwork Orange. It's the weird doctor. It's the weird visiting doctor that shows up in his bedroom.
There was a bit of a nastiness last night, yes? Some very extreme nastiness, yes? Yes.
Don't watch the movie just for that clip, though. The movie's not... the movie's not good, right?
Oh, come on.
The movie's not good.
It's a fine movie. I don't know what you're talking about.
Uh-huh.
It's a perfectly fine psychotic movie.
Sure.
Yes.
I would say there's better movies out there to watch from. That was a Kubrick.
Yes.
It was a Kubrick special.
I love Kubrick.
Kubrick falls on two ends of the spectrum. It's either like some of the greatest movies of all time, and then it's like the lava lamp sequence of 2001: Space Odyssey and Clockwork Orange.
Yes. Well, I liked it, but
I'm glad that you liked it.
Yes, and aren't you glad I pulled that clip?
Sure.
So that we can.
Well, listener Jonathan is. Yeah.
Jonathan. There you go. He's happy for the clip. He wanted to know where it was from.
I will say that you pull clips from the craziest places. Like you have. I don't know. I'm terrified of your internet history, but it's just. You're just like. Do you just search depraved crap?
That's actually what I type in Google.
Yeah, like, Google.com, depraved crap. And you just find stuff. But, I mean, you have an amazing library. And I will always, we've talked about it before, I will always lament the great iPad fire.
Yeah, because that took away a couple.
Because, I mean, the clips you have now pale in comparison to the vast library. It was like the Lost Library of Alexandria, you know? It was like
well, I'm getting back to full strength. I've got a good amount of clips. But so there you go. Listener Jonathan, there you go. You got your answer to that one. And then, while I'm on the topic, I'll give a shout out to Rachel because my wife, she has told me multiple times.
The nastiness clip?
She loves the Gay Deceivers clip. She loves this one.
I may not know my flowers,
but I know a bitch when I see one.
Like, she loves that one so much, she now actually randomly quotes it, like, in the house.
You know what? That is one of the best ones you have in your rotation nowadays.
You like that?
One. Yeah.
You're a fan of that one?
Yeah.
Yep. So there you go. It's from the 1968 movie Gay Deceivers.
I may not know my flowers, but I know a bitch when I see one.
There's just something about it.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
It's
yeah.
just, chef's kiss.
Yeah. Just good stuff.
All right. Well, there you go.
That's
a
fun
nice,
stuff.
Yeah, that was a nice way to walk down memory lane with some of our odd news clips and answer some fan queries, if you will, and come to the conclusion of this show. Thank you guys for watching this week's episode. If you like what you heard, if you like the sound clips, if you made it this far, you must like the sound clips. Make sure you follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. You go to our website, thecrispynoodle.com. But most importantly, make sure you have a way to get new episodes sent to you every week when we produce them. You can do that 3 ways. You can do that on YouTube. You just hit the subscribe button and it'll get sent to your YouTube feed. You can watch us on Facebook Watch. So if you're just, if you just want to scroll through Facebook, you can watch us on Facebook. Or you can get us on Spotify. And on Spotify, you do get the video version, but if you want to listen to us in the background, you can as an audio-only podcast. And therefore, if you want to take us on the go and use Android Auto or Apple CarPlay, you can with this podcast as well. You can take us on the go while you're traveling or going to work. It's perfect for that as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So many ways to get in touch with and check out the Crispy Noodle podcast. But if you want to get in touch with us individually to share your sports, entertainment, odd news stories, or just random questions or whatever,
look, there you go, right there.
Yeah.
Listener Jonathan, you want to know more.
We never hesitate to feature your guys' topics and questions, so you can find us individually on Twitter. I'm at Mikey Costanzo, MikeyCostanzo.
And I am at Rich Liebig, RichLiebig. If there's other sound clips that we've played and you want to know the history behind it, let me know. We'll do a little segment,
He's
history
got
of sound clips,
like a whole encyclopedia of sound clips. I mean, it's incredible.
Yeah. So if that piques your curiosity, let us know. And as Mikey said, if there's other topics you want us to talk about, let us know. Any odd news stories, send it my way so Mikey doesn't see it. But there you go. That is the essence of the Crispy Noodle podcast. We try and give you the most interesting tidbits in the world of sports, entertainment, odd news, and whatever else you want to hear, and whatever else we happen to stumble across. So thank you guys for supporting us. We got to wrap this up. This has been the Crispy Noodle podcast. Let us be the Crispy Noodle in your vegetarian salad of life and boring news. That'll do it. We'll see you guys next week.
See you guys
later. Bye-bye, all you fine peoples. Good night.
Some of us have great stories, pretty stories that take place at lakes with boats and friends and noodle salad. A lot of people, that's their story. Good times, noodle salad.
There was a bit of a nastiness last night, yes? Some very extreme nastiness, yes? Yes.